That's right, the PD300X. You saw the thumbnail correctly. Maono has put out a new microphone, the 300X, right here in your face, hackers and gamers. That's right, 300X USB-C XLR dynamic microphone. The PD200X was a big seller, and now we have something that may be a bigger seller and maybe even better sounding, better tech. Looking closely at this microphone and then looking closely at the K688, did they take a point or two off of the K688 by Fifine? I don't know. I mean, it is going to look very similar to the PD200X. Let's do the unboxing, see what we get for that price point right here. It is a budget microphone, but it may be pro budget level. So let's see. Let's open the box up right now. Let's open the box up right now before I hurt myself. Let's go. And we're back because we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to unbox it right here in your face, Tickets and Gamers, because why not? You're going to see some accessories as well as your Maono documentation. That's right. Best mixing software for streamers. Now, the PD300X will be compatible with the Maono Arena as well as the Maono Link. Both applications are free to download and use in full, no subscriptions or anything. Outside of that, we got our manual in your flying face. That's right. We're not gonna look at that. Accessories, first and foremost, USB-C to USB-A. I can see right through the hole. What? USB-C to USB-A there, but of course that's going to convert to USB-C to USB-C. A little adapter for mounting onto your boom arm, right? So this is for the 3/8 to 5/8 conversion. First impressions, I have not seen this microphone yet in my hands. Bam, for you and me. Wow. Now, if this does not say something, it says other things. What? Looking at that microphone in all of its glory, a little bit crushed there, but this looks very similar to your Fifine K688 that I'm using right now, and very similar or almost identical to the PD200X. Pulling up that PD200X right now in your face. This is what it's looking like. So there are some differences I'm seeing right off of the bat. For one, this 300X is heavy as dogs. What? Are dogs heavy? The PD300X is much heavier than the 200X. Apparently this mic uses advanced DSP tech into this, so we're gonna get some good digital processing of the audio that is input into this 24-bit at 192 kilohertz. So you're gonna get some good audio fidelity out of this as well. The shock mount is metallic. Yes, you have a metal shock mount where the PD200X itself is a plastic shock mount. PD200X, that's the monitor mix button and mute button. Super clicky. And switching over to the PD300X, monitor mix button. A little less clicky, not bad, a little more is muffled. And the mute button. Oh, that is great. Super spongy. Let's put that side by side, 200X. Big turnoff for a lot of content creators, for myself as well. You can't even hear 200X, 300X. You're not getting any RGB on the 300X for all my RGB haters out there. Obviously on the back of it, you're going to get your XLR 3-pin connector, your monitor aux port, and your USB-C. Look at the front end of the way that shock mount looks. Do you see the way the bands look on that? This entire internal ring is rubber. Yes, that whole ring inside there is completely rubberized material here. You get a nice wiggle and no noise. Wow, okay, that's gonna add even more weight to this. Capsule is a bit spaced back from the mesh there on the body of it. So not so close, so it may do some justice with mitigating some of those plosives. This cushion Looks very much like that of the K688. Let's take this off. The bevel on the front even looks very similar, right? It has that little angle there. The same exact color. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference if not for the size of it. 300X and the fine K688. So really some of the big differences here is that, well, the 300X is a tad bit smaller. Also, we have the knob up here where the K688, the knobs are on the back, kind of somewhat hidden. So let's make the switch and see what the audio quality is on this 300X. I'm very interested to see what this is like. We're gonna start with USB and work our way up to the software and then try XLR. Let's do it. Here we are with the PD300X in USB mode, and this is the out-of-box quality you're gonna get with the Maono PD300X, and the quality is actually quite nice. And right now I don't have the gain up 100% because this thing is a gain monster, and well, putting the gain up is just gonna make it pick up my PC fans and ambient noise, and you don't need that. Just use as much gain as you need, so don't worry about it not being a loud enough mic. Way louder than the PD200X, which is much quieter in comparison to this in USB. Big improvements here in USB mode with the 300X. Taxi Gamers rivals that of XLR mode in terms of richness and fidelity. Overall, mids, highs, lows, pretty nice. Nice little bass, but not too much. First impressions is I'm a little bit blown away with the quality of this. Forget about the 200X and the K688. It's knocked it out the box. So those of you who have liked the K688 and like the appearance of it, this is almost a splitting image. I would say that the hardware on this is just a bit better, especially the shock mount technology it got on here is pretty freaking nice. Peter Piper picked a pack of Pepsis, popped them, poured them into a pitcher profusely. Same similar plosives you're getting, plosives mitigation and a little bit of distortion you're getting with that of the PD200X, K688, the PD400X. They all get that kind of plosives, but it's kind of muffled here. I'm liking it. Superman ate a salad by the seashore with Susan in a sauna. Superman ate a seashore. What? He ate the whole seashore with a Susan in a sauna. So sibilance and plosives, keep that away from your face. If you want to take this to the next level of awesome, you're gonna want to go over to the Maono Link App. Yes, it has an upgrade to it and is pretty much a whole new interface with the Maono Link application, and we're gonna deep dive into that and how we can make this already awesome sounding USB quality even better and look at what's new in the Maono Link app right now in our faces. Let's take a look at it. This image is super crispy. What is that? 8K? My Lord. Okay, we'll click into that really quickly and we'll look at the brand new interface that we got going on right here. This looks like the Amazon logo here. Basic. What? Amazon Basic? This is the basic mode here that we're in, and we have another scene mode, which we'll get into in a second. And we have your device. We have a mute option. We can mute it there. We can mute it on the microphone. We are already up on the latest and greatest firmware, so nothing to do there. So starting from the top, we have a record option. Okay, and then you record, you can export your audio here to wherever you'd like on your computer. And of course, we have the microphone volume, microphone gain actually, and we could bump that bad boy up. Oof, well, be careful, be careful. Sorry about that. We have the headphone volume. Obviously, you can manage your monitoring volume here. We'll keep it at 100 so I know what we're getting and what I'm giving you. Monitor mix. So one side is for microphone only. I can hear only mic, and then one side is for PC. There is a noise gate. I'm always interested in seeing how this noise gate is applied. We're going to turn that on, how it works. It's not the same as noise suppression. So right now it's probably a little too high, and right here it is probably just off completely. But we can bring that up to a certain amount, to the point where we can no longer hear noise in the background. Let's see. Maybe like right about here. maybe here. Okay, this is good. It's a nice balance between the noise is picking up in the background and the vocals that you're projecting into your microphone. This multiplex option for mute key. So that's when you actually long click the mute button and it will turn on one of or off one of these options, right? So if you notice, if you hover over the question mark, a long click on the volume key will turn on or off the selected multiplex functionality. So multiplex meaning multifunction, I guess. So right now it's set to noise gate. So if I long press the mute button, you'll see there it'll toggle on noise gate. And then if I hold it again, it'll toggle off noise gate. And you can do the same for mic monitor, PC monitoring. If you want to turn on that on and off PC monitoring, you can just go like that and long press it and it goes straight only into microphone. And then if I long press it again, it turns it back for monitoring. Okay, on noise gate, you'll see there's 3 little ellipses here. There are other options here, so you can kind of get a little bit more of a granular control over your noise gate. So that's pretty sweet. Then we're going to go into scene mode. Scenes. Wow, scene mode is pretty involved here. We have right off the top original podcasting, recording, and gaming, and these may be EQ presets depending on what your environment is. Right now I have it on original. Podcasting is going to apply some EQ here, and you can see the EQ profile for podcasting. It sounds pretty decent actually. Then you can edit that if you like, if you want to make some changes to either of one of these bands we got going on here. We have 10 full bands, and you can change it on a vertical level or you can change it with this graph. Recording. So, okay, very big high pass filter. I can feel it and hear it, and looking at the profile, you'll see that high pass filter kicking in at a pretty decent level here, at a high level actually. So not bad. I do like this. If your voice or your mic is pretty boomy and bassy, probably a good option to set recording. And then you have gaming, which is similar high pass filter here. You see that it's dropping it off even sooner. So that's actually not bad either. And then we'll go back to original. And we'll see that we have the original. This is the PD300X setting that I have. And then we'll have an original. So this is the original out of box. And this is a profile I set previously for my setup, right? So that's cool. But before we get there, let's go through the plain flat EQ, right? And then we have like a high pass or low cut filter here. And then we have a presence boost or a mid boost, which is where your voice sits and resides mostly. And then we have a low cut plus mid boost, which is high pass filter plus presence boost. That's what it used to be called in the old version of the application. And this one sounds pretty decent as well. I do like this presence boost. It's pretty nice, but even at flat mode, it's nice. My God. Then we have the setting that I set, which I brought up some of the brightness in the voice here, right? And then I wanted to drop off some of this sibilance, which you can do either with the bands here, which this moves all around. This is kind of amazing the way they made this graph here, and you can kind of hear that high end drop down, right? And you can do it like that. If you want to go strictly vertically only, then you can just use the sliders here. And of course you can control your gain here as well. We'll keep it on 0 dB if I can get it there. Okay, there we go. And right now, as you can see here, this is the profile I set. You can create a new one if you wanted to make more profiles. You can have multiple profiles for individual microphones, whether it's for gaming, for podcasting, depending on what you're doing. And you can import a profile if you like. Big upgrades here. Wow, this is nice. Okay, you can incrementally change up your frequency ranges here by moving it left and right. And you can control your low pass sliders here, right? Pretty nice. If you can mitigate some of that sibilance and bring it back up if you don't like it so muffled. Got to be careful there so that you don't kill off your high end too much. And then same here with low end, you can kind of drop that all the way down and get rid of a lot of bass as much as you need. So this is actually nice that it has these sliders for that. Okay, and of course on the bottom you have a compressor and limiter. Careful with those. You want to just put just a little bit to keep your highs and lows under control and heard. And this is the gist of the software, the Maono Link software with the PD300X, and right now this is the quality I got going. Here we are with the PD300X in XLR mode. Yes, and right off the rip, the quality is already shining with this microphone. The PD300X sounds quite fantastic, I gotta say. Adding noise suppression in the count of 3, 2, 1, go. What do you think of this quality? Wow, this is amazing. This microphone is top notch at this price point.
And if you wanted to have a nighttime R&B sexy radio show, you can do that with this or a sexy podcast and alter your voice with a voice changer and make it deeper if you don't have that bass in your voice, and you can become a sex symbol. What?
Final thoughts is that the PD300X is a much needed upgrade from the PD200X. It is definitely a big improvement in a lot of ways. Right from the audio profile has been adjusted in USB, even in default mode. I'm loving the sound of this. So I'm loving the body. For anyone who loves the K688, you're gonna love the Fifine. What? If anyone who loves the Fifine K688, you're gonna love the Maono PD300X because of its appearance. It is looking really nice, and it is heavy, a little bit heavier than the K688. So be careful with that. Much heavier than the PD200X. That felt like a toy. It's already rivaling that of the PD400X. So yeah, I would probably use this interchangeably with the PD400X with this profile, utilizing the Maono Link. Hardware build is fantastic on this. Professional weight and grade and materials. This is all 100% metal. I mean, except for the button on the front, which we'll talk about in a second. The buttons are plastic, but the body is metal. Better shock mount here. Heavy duty, hardcore shock mount. That is not breaking. K688 users, I'm sorry. This is a better microphone. It's a quieter mute button of that of the 200X. So that way you know you pressed it and it's muted and you're not talking and you don't realize that it's muted. So you'll hear the click. Sometimes you want to hear a click. The monitor button also is a little bit clicky. It's probably just a little bit less than that of the PD200X. Not by much, but you don't click that on and off so much. Once you have your gain set and your monitor mix set, you don't really mess with that too much. And if you're using a mixer like me or a stream controller, stream deck like I am, you kind of control a lot of stuff without touching the microphone, right? You kind of just have it setting to the side. So the buttons are not a reason to not want this microphone. Let me just get that out the way. If you really have a pet peeve with seeing a knob, then maybe it's not for you. It's not so intrusive or big and bulky. But if you have a serious pet peeve with it, then look the other way. If you like this audio quality, look this way. This microphone has fantastic audio quality. Out of box and USB and XLR is fantastic. Utilizing the Maono Link application, you can make this microphone sound pretty good the way I have it sounding now. Other than that, if I had to say that there was a con, from time to time I get like a little bit of line noise when I move it around. I don't know if it's this unit or my cables. I didn't really swap my cables out so much, so it could possibly be that. The handling, it's pretty noisy, right? So you got to be careful when you're handling this microphone. Right now I have a little bit of noise gate going, so you might not hear so much, but if you have it on an arm, you're just going to move the arm and not touch the body, then you're fine. Links in the description. This microphone is awesome. The PD300X Techie Gamer is something new. In case you couldn't make up your mind about the K688 and the PD200X, you had those on your scales. Throw the whole scale out in the microphones and everything. You got the 300X. That's all I'm saying. All right. With that, I'll see you in the next one. Later.